There is an invisible force controlling your life, and you let it ruin your peace, your relationships, your confidence, because facing it is too scary. The truth is, you are not broken, you are just triggered, girl. And your triggers, they are not your enemies. They are an invisible map to freedom. Girl, before we dive deep, let's understand what a trigger is. So a trigger is something like a noise, smell, or some image that causes this strong emotional reaction. It reminds you of some past traumatic experience or unpleasant experience, leaving you upset or anxious without you actually knowing what the hell is happening. So we have this enormous emotional reaction to something relatively small. Hi girl, thank you so much for being here. My name is Veronica. I'm just a girl who's been there. I'm just a girl who's so deeply passionate about trauma healing, about triggers, attachment styles, relationships. And you know what? Because my own experience forced me to dive deep. On this channel, you're gonna get the support you need on your healing self-development journey, because I got you. And from this place, I wanted to say that your triggers are your teachers. By the end of this video, you will understand that a trigger is a gift that will help you discover yourself and ultimately dissolve your shadow. I know it's contradictory and it's mind-blowing how a trigger can be a gift, but it can be. So are you ready to dive deep? Are you ready to get uncomfortable? Because on this channel, we uncover the uncomfortable truth about ourselves. So yes, I'm gonna make you uncomfortable, but I can promise you it will be worth it. Every time someone said something happened, and then you have this big emotional reaction, you don't understand why you are so bothered, it means you are triggered. So what you repress has an extraordinary talent for manifesting itself in the least expected circumstances. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Why? Because your trigger is meant to show you something. Imagine these people who annoy you so much being a mirror. Their actions, their behaviors, their attitudes drive you crazy because they are showing you a part of you that still hasn't been healed. The parts of you that have been abandoned, the wounds that are still bleeding. And the people who trigger you so much come to make you do the shadow work, to ultimately accept this shadow within you. What's this shadow? Well, your trauma, your unresolved past emotions, something really heavy from your past. So these triggers pop up just to show you that, hey, we still have some work to do. A fantastic trauma expert, Dr. Gabor Mate, says that if it's hysterical, it's historical. Let me repeat. If it's hysterical, it's historical. Think about it. When I cry my eyes out, that's most probably not about the present situation. Let me give you an example that happened just some minutes ago. I am in a coffee shop. I was ordering myself a coffee, and the girl here was really harsh. She wasn't kind at all. Most probably she had a bad day. And the past version of myself would take it so personally. I would immediately defend myself. I would get triggered. But now I'm like, okay, it's not personal. It's not about me, because I desensitized myself to this trigger. How? So let's answer the most important question here. What do we do with a trigger? How do we deal with it? Step number 1, self-awareness. Without self-awareness, we cannot do anything. So become aware that, okay, something caused this terrible feeling in me. Like I'm bothered, I'm so annoyed, I'm angry, I'm sad, I want to cry, I want to scream, or I want to punch someone in the face. Now, when you are aware of it, try to expand the time between a trigger and a reaction. We're going to divide the next steps into body, mind, and feelings. So, what to do with your body? remember that your body keeps the score. Whatever happened to you in your past, whatever trauma you went through in your past, your body remembers. It shows up in some random headaches, hip aches, in some random stomach aches, in some random things in your body that you really don't understand and that are pretty illogical from the medical perspective. To let it go and to process this trigger better, you're gonna shake your body, you're gonna move your body, you're gonna walk, you're gonna dance, you're gonna jump, you're gonna do whatever you want with your body, but get rid of this energy. Because when you are triggered, this old energy is present within you. Most probably, when you are triggered, you feel heavy in your chest. For example, I feel a knot in my stomach. When I'm very triggered, you know what I do? I go to the gym and I run like there is no tomorrow on a treadmill. This helps me a ton when I'm so furious, when I'm so frustrated. I need to go and run. I always ask myself, where does it live in my body? And it's really interesting. It depends what trigger was triggered, but it usually lives in my stomach, my chest. Suddenly I feel that I cannot breathe, or in my hips. Suddenly, like randomly, I got some weird hip aches. So ask yourself these questions and be compassionate with yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Find your way to remove this energy from your body, because only then you're going to be able to think rationally again. It brings us to your mind. With your rational mind, you're going to ask yourself, what unhealed wound did it scratch? What unhealed wound did this girl activate in me? Oh, she activated a lot. She activated my whole family dynamic when I was a kid. She behaved like my mom. You see, it's not about the present, the current situation. It's about my past. Then you're gonna go to your feelings. What are you feeling when you are triggered? Sadness, anger, disgust, frustration. Maybe you are feeling resentful, disappointed. Talk to yourself. Be compassionately curious about yourself. Not from this energy of, oh my God, I need to fix myself because I'm broken. No, this compassionate curiosity, like, why? Why do I feel like this? As Dr. Gabor Mate says, we need to feel to heal. Sometimes it can be too much. Sometimes it can feel like it's gonna kill you even. I experienced these kind of feelings when I was extremely triggered, when my abuse, like my abuse trauma was triggered. I felt like it was too much to feel. But then I taught myself to unpack it like step by step. I don't need to unpack everything right now. All these steps will bring release. You will feel lighter with this self-awareness, body work, mind, and feelings. At the beginning, your ego is gonna resist a lot. You're gonna be like, I cannot do this. I cannot do this. And you're gonna find yourself wanting to come back to this autopilot, to this aggressive and big hysterical reaction. But then with this compassionate curiosity, you're gonna be like, releasing this charge, this emotional charge, step by step. It's gonna take time. It's a journey, not a destination. I've been working on myself for quite some time and I still get triggered a ton. But it's a journey. I already surrendered myself to the process because I figured that I didn't have any other choice, to be honest. So, being practical. What to do with people who triggered you? Show them that you are bothered. Well, it depends on the relationship that you have with them. It depends on the person. If this person is close to you, if you have an intimate relationship with this person, then talk about it. Simply share, be vulnerable. Like, hey, I don't really understand why I yelled at you. Like, I was so aggressive, but I don't know what's happening to me. Like, maybe something happened to me in the past. Maybe it comes from my home. I don't know. Like, talk to them. You know, this Dialogue is so healing, and it's gonna improve your relationship with them. But if this is like a workmate, like a distant friend, distant relatives, and they trigger you so much, then girl, you're gonna need to practice the law of detachment. Let them. You're gonna do your work quietly. You're not gonna talk to them about it. You're not gonna be vulnerable with them because they're gonna use it against you. So you're gonna protect your energy, you're gonna protect your boundaries, and you're gonna let them. You're gonna let them be who they are. If they are an asshole, let them. As Mel Robbins says in Let Them Theory, in Let Them book, you are not gonna change them. You are not going to change them. So it's better for you to step back, protect your energy, and do your work quietly. Like, what did they trigger? But without like going into a discussion with them, because it does not make any fucking sense. So my terrible trigger was food and my weight. So whenever my boyfriend mentioned food or asked me a neutral question about some candies or something like this, I used to get so activated and so triggered. I used to yell at him, get super angry, then super upset, then cry my eyes out, and then shut down. That was the pattern. I used to shut down. I used to give him the silent treatment. Very, very toxic. Don't do this. But I used to do it. I'm not proud of it. It was hysterical. And then I figured that it was historical. Then I figured that it's about how my mother treated me when I was a little girl. She used to control what I ate in a very obsessive way. She used to tell me that I gained weight, and my grandma did the same. So I always felt really observed and controlled by them when it comes to food. And then as a result, I became obsessed with my weight. And I always thought that I'm too fat. It almost became an eating disorder. That's why my boyfriend asking me a neutral question about food used to trigger me so much. I understood that this over emotional reaction comes from my childhood. I found the source. Girl, I found the source of my trigger. Next time you are triggered, pause and ask yourself, is this really about this person who triggered me right here, right now? Or is it about me? So if it's hysterical, obviously it's historical, so it's about you in this case. But if you are kind of like unbothered or just slightly annoyed, or you simply feel that it's unfair, then it's likely about them, because when somebody feels insecure, they're gonna say something like kind of ridiculous just to trigger you. Okay, so then you need to find this balance and know when it is about you, when it is about them. Because when you, for example, get some hate comment or somebody criticizes you, and then you are like, but that's ridiculous. Like, it doesn't, wake up these strong emotions. Then it's about them and about their insecurities. Before we're gonna wrap it up, girl, we have two more important topics to talk about, and it's PTSD and boundaries. So bear with me because you need to hear this out. So when you have this strong emotional reaction, it can be also a signal, a symptom of PTSD. Here you're gonna see the symptoms of PTSD, so check it with yourself if it resonates. And I would like to give you one more example from my life. I get so easily startled, like this. For example, when some waiter approaches me, I'm like this. And this is a terrifying symptom of PTSD. And it really doesn't let you live in peace. And I lived with severe PTSD for years without realizing that I've went through a lot of trauma and that my triggers are so intense because I have PTSD. It was only until I went to therapy and I was diagnosed with PTSD. So that's why I'm mentioning this in this video, because I know that it's so important. And girl, I'm not saying diagnose yourself with PTSD, but just look at this and see if it resonates, okay? Remember, I'm not a therapist. So, girl, if you have these symptoms, go and look for professional help. It's gonna make your life much easier, speaking from my own experience. Last but absolutely not least, boundaries. Someone from your environment acts in a very disrespectful way, acts in an abusive way, uses some manipulation techniques, then it's your responsibility to set the boundary. Even if you understand your part, okay, like it used to trigger me and stuff like that. I'm talking about abusive behaviors here. If you have these abusive behaviors around you, then you need to set the boundary to protect yourself. How? By communicating like, hey, this is not okay. I don't want you to do this. I don't feel comfortable with that. And if this person continues, if this dynamic is abusive itself and this person doesn't stop and reflect and this person doesn't do the work, then limiting the contact might be the only option to protect your sanity. And here I would like to point family dynamics, because when we start doing the work, some of the family members are not going to like it, because you become inconvenient, because you uncover something very uncomfortable to them, right? If you feel that someone, especially someone from your family, dismisses you, manipulates you, acts in an abusive way, belittle you, then you have the full right, girl. We don't talk about it in our society, but it's so necessary. You have the full right to set the boundary. If they don't respect the boundary, then limit the contact. In an extreme case, even go into zero contact, because you deserve to live a happy and fulfilling life without anyone destroying your self-esteem every single day. Obviously, always follow your intuition. Don't do anything that doesn't feel right. Listen to yourself, girl. You don't get to listen to me if you feel that it doesn't resonate. You don't get to listen to even your therapist if it doesn't resonate. If your intuition tells you that this is not okay for you, follow it. Follow your gut, girl. And this is how I would like to end this video. Follow your gut and remember that all of the answers are already within you. You may just need some guidance, but in reality, all of the answers are already within you. So let me know in the comments if you figured why your trigger is a gift. And if you still don't know, let me tell you that it helps you discover yourself, your true self, your authentic self. Thank you so much for watching, girl. Again, my name is Veronica, and this video is going to help you a ton on your self discovery journey. See you in my next one. Bye.